Happy Thursday. I'm recording this Wednesday after my big YouTube event because I'm kind of lit and the energies are going and I'm like on. So I wanted to share a few things with you before it all gets away from us. So first, real quick order of news here. The vet appointment went extremely well with Lucy. She basically got a clear bill of health. Can you believe that? And so, all of her vaccinations are up to date now. She's got a clean bill of health. Yeah, she's a little rough around the edges, but the vet was kind of impressed. And so I got the clean bill of health and lucky Lucy's Forever Home people. They said yes. And they are going to come over the mountain from Seattle. They're going to come over the mountain from Seattle and come get her this Friday. So Lucy now has her forever home to go to. She's going to be a lucky Lucy dog in Seattle, and this is a full family: a mom, a dad, and two daughter son collegiate people. So Lucy's going to a really good home, and they are runners, trail people, so she's going to be able to run. And there's a dog park, and the mom is super into Reiki and kind of some animal communications. Oh my God, this dog is going to a really good home. I'm super excited about it, but I'll let you know what happens on adoption day. Super sad she's going to be gone. Such an amazing, loving dog, but super happy she's going to a great home. And thank you to all of you. That vet appointment got covered today. Her spay is going to be covered. Some of her incidentals are getting covered. The money part was super helpful. So thank you everyone for helping to make this happen. This was totally a community effort to get this angel dog placed in her new super happy Seattle home. That's the dog news. So psychic news. There is stuff going on this week. Let's just start from the top. So Monday I was sitting at my desk, just, easy peasy pie. And I felt Spirit Team very gently come in and basically say, this is the worst it's going to get. And of course, all of my spidey sense goes off and I'm like, can I count on that? Because we kind of been living through our own personal hell on everything here in the United States. But there was a feeling, a sensation from this light being, Galactic Federation of Light, of basically saying the current administration, they've gone as far as they can go, and they're running up against the wall. And we can kind of see that. And so this light being wanted to let us know that as far as that kind of stuff, we're kind of at the worst juncture of it. Now, I do get the feeling we may sit on slow burn there for a little while. And, I'm watching what's going on with judges and their announcements. And, we're watching what's going on with protest movement and pushback and the global thing. But basically, the people in the White House, they are running up against it. After I was told that, this is the worst it gets. And I'm kind of in mind we'll see it, I'll believe it when we see it. But then the message right after that was, he's gone as far as he can go. And then the message right after that was he has no more footing. And I want to speak to that because you know how me and other psychics and other energy workers, we keep talking about this new energy, this light that's, it's all here. The feeling that I get from spirit world is the new light that is anchoring on the planet. That is the new energy. That is the new wind in the sails. And so the old guard literally does not have the existential energy to anchor into anymore to do their thing. It's literally disintegrating out from underneath them. And the feeling that I get from spirit world is they're you need to pay attention to that. This is the worst it's going to get with the moves that they make. They're running up against resistance. They can't go any further. And their footing, they're literally losing their footing. And that's when I got a feeling of something of an implosion. So that's what I was told on Monday. And I've kind of been sitting on that and brewing on that and kind of looking around. And yeah, for the most part, I can kind of feel that and I can see that. It's still really nasty, really toxic, really bad. But there's this, you can feel the pushback happening, and they're making all these threats, but they're kind of beginning to turn into empty threats. Then Tuesday, I woke up Tuesday morning and I was walking around, and you know how the astrologers and the energy forecasting people, and like what I did with forecasting, like how we've been talking about this week and next week is like really weird, powerful, transformational, crack apart, like holy crap, what's the energy going on this week and next week? Tuesday morning I got up and I was taking the dogs on a walk, kind of feeling my way around in the world, and I had this, hey, Peanut, they're beginning to have their connection fit. I need to take them on their walk. As I was on the walk, I started having this feeling of like, oh my God, we're at an existential cracking point. Like you could literally feel like crack, crackle, crackle, pop, 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 crackle, crack, like literally like things splitting, an existential cracking point. And you know how I said in my forecast, it feels like things crack open and the light comes through? Tuesday, yesterday, that is exactly what it felt like happened. Crackle, crackle, pop, existential cracking point, and a feeling of like, oh, you better have your spiritual shit together because things are going to get interesting. And then like energy coming through, okay? Like volcano energy kind of coming through. And like I live in volcano country, right? All right. So that was yesterday. Then we're not done yet. I woke up this morning. I literally like opened my eyes, sat up in bed, woke up to major, intense, higher vibrational energy, higher frequency. Like I got out of bed and I was staggering because it was like being on a really huge ship in the oceans and the waves. And it literally felt like, whoa, what are we doing? Like you should have seen me as kind of comical. I like ran into a couple of walls. I was like, holy fuck, what is going on? And then I could kind of feel from spirit world of like, it's happening. Now remember, if you looked on my forecast, what is Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday? Energy gateways and timeline jumps. Now I had the ones for today designated at like those upper scripting levels. I got up this morning and Spirit World was, no, it has shifted. These timeline jumps and energy gateways are hitting deeper. They're like, as I'm speaking right now, we're hitting like at the 2 level, like we're embedding some really high, powerful, light vibrational frequencies down into those foundational timeline places that shift things, that make stuff happen. And that's when I got the feeling of like, we are literally going to shift these guys out of the White House off the planet. It literally felt like the changing of the times, the changing of the guards. They're not going to be able to go any further. That was the timeline jump this week. Now, I've already started looking at next week, and I like my eyes crossed. Like next week, we've got kind of another similar thing. At the end of next week, we've got like this explosion of like partial solar eclipse and Neptune going into Aries, and that Mercury, Venus conjuncting with Neptune. Mercury and Venus are retrograde, headed back, conjuncting with Neptune, and we're coming off that Chiron square Mars. And I think there's a couple other things in there. And then there's also another timeline jump energy gateway day right over that thing. Like the end of next week looks explosive in kind of like a crazy kind of way that could be pretty good. But the thing I will tell you is like, stay on your spiritual practice, stay on those timelines, stay in that light field, because we are riding some pretty crazy waves right now that are going to put us on the top side, but we really need to be working at being conscious of being in that destiny-based kind of space if we can. So, I am at this point of feeling like I wouldn't be half surprised if we watch the whole thing at the White House just crack apart. And it already is. I mean, we're getting reports that the E-baby is crying because he can't handle what's going on with his T-cars. There's this whole feeling of like, oh, this is going to crack apart. This has no footing. It's cracking apart. Look at the energies. Everybody's pushing back. We've all just kind of had it. This just doesn't feel like it's going to go very much further. So the thing I will say is Thank you, Mexico, for hanging in there with us. We know our destiny is connected with yours, and we are so grateful for your presence and all the people who flow back and forth across the border who work here. I mean, you're the backbone of the American economy. Thank you. And then a shout out to Canada for thank you for standing your ground, and thank you for being patient at the same time, and thank you for being really good allies with really good boundaries. We understand the boycott, and a shout out to the Canadians of like, I picked this up. This is going on, like elbows up. So we need that movement here in the United States. Fucking elbows up, man. Yeah. It's our new way to flip stuff off. It's like the Uber way to flip stuff off. Shout out to the international community. Thank you for standing your ground. Not easy what we're going through right now. And ultimately, we are all connected together with this. And ultimately, our breakthrough is your breakthrough and vice versa. So I think we're headed into a new global community with this whole thing, which is, it's scary right now, but ultimately could be very super exciting. And then just a shout out to the Blue Lotus who so inspired us with all of this. And, may she come back to rise again like the phoenix and hold whatever kind of space she can to help us along our way as possible. And, yeah, my shirt, it's volcano time. This is the Obama volcano from Japan. So I thought that was kind of appropriate to wear on my program day and also share it with you here. So that's what I've got for you today with Psychic Notes, and I will see you out there on the airwaves, and see you in the next video.